Welcome back to the channel. Yeah, I haven't been updating any videos because editing is hard and it's difficult to come up with any topics that I want to talk about. Other than that, it's just really not worth it to be making a video every week or every other week because seriously nobody's watching, so whatever. Anyway, so I'm just doing this because I just have something on my mind that I wanted to talk about. It's been on my mind for a week now, and I'd feel better if I got it out. So today, frankly, I think one of the hardest things about being of African descent is, in a way, you're disconnected with your history. Let me explain. So I watched a BBC show about British people who were living the lives of their ancestors from the Victorian age to the 1980s and 1970s, and frankly, like and frankly, they're working with historians. The historians go look at the British census, which tells them who their ancestors are and what jobs they were doing and so on and how they were living and so on and so on. And then during the 1970s episode, there was a Jamaican family who immigrated to the UK. That family was treated with racist things and like, even though they immigrated thinking that they were gonna get a better life, they were treated as unwanted and really had to struggle, and that was just for a week, and it was like so sad. But I think the worst part of it is that it's because of the result of slavery that happened all those hundreds of years ago for centuries anyway, and because of that, we of African descent have lost our history. Those white British people, they could go to a historian to find out, even though even if their families were the poorest of the poor, they were still recorded in a census. They were still treated as people, and while black people who were living in that country and the same black people whose ancestors were slaves are not as recorded as those really poor white people, because their ancestors came from Africa and their ancestors were slaves. And frankly, in a way, I feel a very deep sense of envy of white people because of that, because frankly, they have their history, they know their history, while our history as African Americans have been lost due to slavery and exploitation of Africa. We've lost everything, and I think that is like one of the worst results of slavery and racism. There are so many ancestry websites that are like, hey, we're gonna find your ancestor, but then as a African American woman who wants to know my history, I do want to know my history, and I do want to know my grandparents and great grandparents and their parents, but frankly, the only thing I'm gonna find is that they were slaves and they were brought to the Americas against their will and everything, and I'm just gonna find out how much they suffered. But I already know that, so what's the point anyway? So, especially like growing up in a third world country, growing up in Haiti, like, I know my grandmother, my great grandfather on my mom's side, but I don't know anyone on my dad's side, because I don't even think my dad has any siblings. I don't even know his parents, so it's just like a part of me is gone. Like, I will probably never know anything about that, because unlike white people, our history hasn't been preserved as well as black people's history. I mean, most of our history, even in Africa, have been destroyed because There are only certain monuments there. There's no records or anything, and it just makes me feel like we've lost something as people of African descent, as descendants of slaves, that we're probably never gonna get back ever. Even with the great monuments in Africa, no matter what, they don't write anything about us. They don't write anything about our families. They don't write what we did, or I mean, who knows? Like, some African people are descended from kings, but those kings lost wars to other African kings, and then those African kings sold them as slaves to Europeans. So it's just like the moment they lost, that's the moment that we lost. We lost our history, we lost our family, we lost our connection to our past. Well, white people can just trace it back with and look through books and other stuff. Like, it's just sad, I think, as a black person, because you're so disconnected from your history. And you don't really, in a way, you don't have anything to be proud of. Even if black people are like calling to be proud of our heritage, we don't have a heritage to be proud of. Frankly, I do want to know my history. I do want to. It's like a conflict inside me. I want to know about my history, but I also don't want to know about my history because I already know what my history is gonna be. And that's it for today. I'm gonna please subscribe and like and watch and share with your friends and everything, because like the more people who watch this, the more I'm gonna want to make videos, the more I'll try to find a way to do things, because I do want to share things with you guys. And it's like, and I do get some ideas, and if you comment, I can get more ideas about what you want me to do and what you want me to say. So yeah, so share with me. Share your comments with me, share with your friends, like and subscribe so that you can always get my videos. And I'll see you later. Okay, bye.